Joining me now in a story exclusive tonight, His Excellency Sheikh Mohammed bin Abdul Rahman Al Thani, Qatar's Deputy Prime Minister and Foreign Minister. Your Excellency, thank you so much for being here today. Obviously, there is a lot going on in your part of the world. If the United States were to launch missiles into Syria, would Qatar support that?
Well, first of all, let us acknowledge that what's happening in Syria since the last 7 years are war crimes committed against the people, against the civilians, and the regime there, the Syrian regime, and Bashar al-Assad personally is responsible for those crimes. And we are seeing eye to eye with the United States in this position. Actually, we need to see an action against what's happening there in Syria to stop the Syrian regime from killing their own people. And whatever decisions are going to be taken that will save the Syrian civilians, we are going to support it. This is what we've been calling for the last 7 years.
Talk to me a little bit about the blockade, which has been in place since June and was imposed by Saudi Arabia, Bahrain, the United Arab Emirates, and Egypt. Now the latest discussion is potentially drawing a line and carving Qatar into an island, essentially, and cutting you off even more dramatically than you are right now. What is your response to that?
Well, first of all, let us say that this blockade and the entire crisis was a needless crisis, and President Trump is agreeing with His Highness the Emir that this crisis is needless and needs to end, and the Gulf states need to be united again. The crisis started without any reasons. It started with a cyber attack, with a crime against our government that targeted our news agency in order to create the reason. This is showing that the reasons are not solid and the foundation of this crisis is not solid. Trying to cut off Qatar is not the solution. What were their grievances and their concerns, which they never presented in the last 10 months? They failed to even come to the table to face us.
Some of the things is that they have mentioned is that they want you to ban the Muslim Brotherhood from Qatar, to end support for Hamas, to expel terrorists that Saudi Arabia would like sent back to Riyadh. Are any of those things that you would consider negotiating with them on? I know the president wants to try to solve this problem, wants to be helpful in this. Are those issues that you would be negotiable on?
Just, Martha, let us set the record straight. Qatar never supported terrorists, never even tolerated the people who are raising funds for terrorists. Those accusations has been falsely accused by the blockading states against Qatar. They are accusing us that we are supporting the Muslim Brotherhood, while the Muslim Brotherhood is part of the political society of their countries, and asking us to expel Muslim Brotherhood on Qatar. And Muslim Brotherhood, there is no Muslim Brotherhood.
None of those things are issues. Why are they all bonded against you?
Well, the issue that they've been continuing trying to provoke Qatar and to get Qatar into submission and to take over Qatar's sovereignty and to put it under their guardianship, which was never accepted by Qatar. Since 1995, there were an attempt for a coup against the Emir. Then in 2014, they withdrew their ambassadors, and the crisis being contained. And this year, the measures being taken in this crisis, which they have created, actually reached to the Qatari people. They wanted Qatar to the differences that we have with our policies with them. They wanted Qatar to be totally under their guardianship and say whatever they want. And Qatar is not willing to spend our people wealth, our people resources, and their political adventures.
Obviously, we have a base in your country that is very important to our country. But your relationship with Iran has also raised some eyebrows. Is that something that is negotiable, or is that something that you've had to cultivate because of this blockade?
I'm sorry, but this accusation in itself is really ironic, because if they are accusing Qatar that has a special relation with Iran, while UAE is controlling 96% of the bilateral trade between the GCC and Iran, while Qatar is just having $50 million of bilateral trade, while in the meantime we are sharing with them our largest gas field, which contribute to the world energy more than 20%. Our relation with Iran is a relation that we are neighbors. We are situated next to each other. We are managing our gas field, which we are drilling, which is in a partnership with Iran. We have no special relationship. We have differences with Iran in their policies. We have disagreement with them and their influence in our region. And we've been the front runner in fighting this influence in Syria. So while UAE, they are okay with Bashar, The Saudi Crown Prince, he just mentioned that Bashar can remain, and we are seeing the amount of crimes Bashar is committing against his people, and the support he's getting from those players.
Your Excellency, thank you. It's very good to have you with us tonight in Washington. Thank you for being here.
You're welcome. Thank you for hosting me.